Hi, my name is Tanil Jankola, and this is my EDL 853 Module 1 introduction video for special education for school leaders. A little bit about myself. I've been married for 11 years. I have 3 boys, aged 10, 7, and 5, who keep us busy day in and day out, and 2 stepchildren, aged 17 and 16. The oldest just graduated from high school this past May and will be attending college this fall and cheering for the school she is attending. So she's very excited about that, and a whole new adventure awaits us in this household. We live in a very rural community in northwest Kansas called Hoxie. It is very much an ag community and small and quaint, and we have really enjoyed it. We've been here for only 3 years, but have enjoyed our time as we've lived here. I come from a family of educators. My dad was a high school science teacher. My aunt and uncle were both elementary school teachers, and my grandmother was a one-room schoolhouse teacher. So education has been rooted in me from the beginning. I've been in education myself for 20 years and have had the privilege of teaching at both the secondary and elementary levels. I have my master's in education already in English for speakers of other languages, and I'm working on my master's in educational administration. The school that I work at, I am currently the middle school science teacher and 9th grade pre-algebra teacher at the Hoxie Junior Senior High School. I am a student intervention team member. I am a mentor to new hires. This is my 3rd year in the district, and I was previously at USD 494 in Syracuse for 10 years. I am the lead negotiator for our Teachers Association, and I'm also the District Teacher Association Vice President. My critical reflection of our school, I believe that our school has a strong special education department. I'll be honest, this past year, we lost our special education teacher who was just phenomenal, and our special education teacher this year was still acquiring her degree, so left a lot of gaps, left a lot of open holes, but we still had, I felt, a very strong department. In the past, our special education teacher did a great job of keeping up with our IEPs and writing them in our 504 plans. And we always made sure that we had an IEP at a glance so that we had knowledge of our students before the first day of school. We could get to know them and what was on their IEP. Of course, we have annual review meetings. Those are required. But the one thing I liked about what our special education teacher did is they not only asked for the academic picture of the students, they also asked us about the social emotional area of the student's life so that they could have a full understanding of that student in our specific classroom. And then they used that knowledge, of course, to write their plan and write their goals, but it kind of gave us a little bit of ownership into the IEP. Our paraprofessionals are in the classroom. They follow the students from one content area to the next. Our paraprofessionals, I believe, are second to none. We have some of the best paraprofessionals I've ever worked with here at Hoxie. They are very much 100% committed to the education of these students and always asking what they can do differently, what they can help us with, what they can support us with. And they are definitely an extension of me. They want to make sure that they are meeting the needs that I have in my classroom and always asking to be on the same page with me, and I really appreciate that. We have a resource room in our school that the students can be pulled out to go to from the classroom. Within our junior high, there is actually a 30-minute time where all of the students on an IEP go up to that classroom for kind of a checkpoint time. They get extra assistance to make sure that they are organized, to make sure that their needs are being covered, and that's been a really beneficial time. At our elementary school, we are a Title I school with Title I support, and our Title I teacher is phenomenal. She is a veteran teacher. She understands the ins and outs of meeting the needs of those kids. I can attest to that firsthand. At the beginning of this school year, my son was a little bit behind in reading, and so she took him, and the leaps and bounds he made in the first semester were amazing. I could not commend her enough. He has just taken off with reading and at this moment needs no further additional help. We do have a school psychologist. She does an amazing job of diagnosing and supporting us as educators. She is one that we can definitely go to and ask for help, ask for extra resources and different things like that, and is just really takes her time also with our students to get to know them and to get to know what they need. We are implementing a class this next year within the junior high to help meet the needs of our students more specifically, not only our kids on IEPs, but also just any student who fell below when we were looking at their testing data. And that'll be very exciting. I think that is going to be something that will definitely help our special education department and our kids on IEPs, because we'll get to work with them a little bit more on one-on-one because the classes will be smaller. We'll get to focus on specific content areas, and we will also have para support within that time as well. This next year in our 7th through 12th grade, we are going to a 1-to-1 student ratio with Chromebooks, so I'm very excited about that, as there are many programs that can be implemented and used to help all of our students, but really also to help our students with special needs. I think that technology is a great benefit because it's part of their society. It is just, we are so inundated with technology, and these kids know how to use it. We might as well get it for them to use. We also have content area PLCs and professional learning communities that we just kind of implemented those last year, and so we worked really hard to get the foundation set and to make sure that everybody was on the same page, everybody's curriculum is getting aligned, and so it'll be nice to have those to continue to work on this next year. My critique of my personal knowledge of what I know and what I kind of don't know, there's a lot of things within special education that I don't know, even though I've been in this profession for 20 years. But what I feel like I'm very strong in is I feel like I can adapt my classroom environment to meet the needs of my students. Like I said, I am the middle school science teacher, so I am very much a project-based, hands-on teacher. I use the Kessler 5E model. That model is, you engage, you explore, you explain, you elaborate, and then you examine. And I really like that model. My favorite part about it is the explore section, because the kids have 8 stations that they get to go through, and so they're not having to just sit and just listen to me lecture, even though that is something that I do in my classroom. They get to just also move from one module to the next, and they get to watch and read and explore hands-on and research, and it's just been a great asset to my class. I am as hands-on as much as possible. We do a lot of labs, we do a lot of projects. I use a lot of videos within my classroom to kind of just show them, to give them an idea. And I use a lot of cooperative learning groups. And I kind of, I don't really put them together as ability. I try to, gap everything, or include everything, high, online, on level and below. I try to have something, a little bit of everything, so that kids can just learn from each other, and they're not always having to work with the IEP kids, because they get to learn from other students as well. I use data to drive my instruction. I think that's very important, to use the assessments that we give. Those should drive my instruction. If kids are low, I need to know why they're low. I need to know what I need to do differently. I need to look into that and make sure that we are bridging that gap. I feel like I'm very good at accommodating student work, shorter assignments, fewer answer choices, fewer words on the page, modified tests, modified assignments, shorter projects, chunking projects more, chunking assignments more. I feel like I'm good at that. Modifications is something that I really want to work on. I have a hard time sometimes just modifying the assignment. I am a huge just self-critique person. I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing there. So I'm trying to work more with the special education teacher to learn how to do that. I do try to meet with the special education teacher and paraprofessionals regularly, just to make sure that we are all on the same page and that the needs of the students are being met. And I try to attend IEP meetings when I can, and so I can learn more about the process. My proposed plan to improve is definitely professional development on learning strategies for students of special needs. I think that would help me tremendously. We don't always get professional development on strategies. It's just a lot about what it is. Continue to collaborate with the special education department and use those resources more frequently. Sometimes I get in my own little bubble and I try to reinvent the wheel, and I need to stop doing that. Continue to monitor student progress and make changes where needed, and to research trends in effective use of technology, especially since we're going to that 1-to-1 ratio, to better meet the needs of my students who have special needs within my classroom and just all of my students together. I thank you for your time and watching my video, and I wish everyone a great summer and great success in this class.